Hey guys, this is Philip Fortenberry with Fatherhood Revolution. So, the last few days we've talked some about my own story and about how it was that I was abandoned, and that fear of abandonment really caused me to be somewhat dysfunctional. A few days ago I talked to you about how dysfunctional I was even in my dating relationships with girls because that fear of abandonment dogged me, and I was scared to give them the power to leave me. And so therefore I ended up becoming the abandoner of those girls, even though I couldn't see it at the time. I didn't understand it. And as I told you, I just knew that I didn't have this fear before the girl showed up. And so the way I resolved it was to get rid of the girl. And I think so oftentimes that's kind of how we treat our problems, isn't it? We point our finger, we blame, instead of going and looking in the mirror and recognizing that it's me that needs to change. It's me that is the problem. Even my story with my dad, I pointed my finger at him for 23 years, guys. And I blamed him for everything. But you want to know what? That's not fair. Because it wasn't what my father did that kept us apart. It was me that kept us apart. It was me, my hatred and my bitterness, my refusal to forgive. Even though I was praying, time and time again, I forgive him. But it wasn't until that day that I described yesterday that I realized, that day at Promise Keepers, that I realized I needed the forgiveness. And then we had a good relationship. But I want to talk to you and show you how that progresses in a person's life and begin to hurt people that are totally innocent. Those girls were innocent. That wasn't their fault. But then we begin to even pour out that pain on the next generation, our kids. You see, whenever the father doesn't have victory over the pain of his past, and for me, it was that abandonment issue. And my dad was the root source of that wound, that's for sure. But when I didn't get victory over it, when I didn't find a place for mercy, a place for repentance first, and then a place for mercy in my heart for my father, my son began to pay the price, and my wife to a degree too. Because every time my son would begin to argue with me, what does that spell to me? What's my greatest fear? Abandonment. But I mean, he's my kid. He's a little guy. He can't go and abandon me. But it still spells rejection. And I would begin to be way too hard on Ryan. And so I want you to think about that. I'd mentioned yesterday that sometimes those problems, they can come from a long ways back, and we are in the habit of pointing our finger. It's the next person, it's him or it's her, and that's what we end up doing with our kids. And guys, that's not right. It's not fair. It's not our kids' fault. We're the adult. We're the one that needs to get victory. We're the one that needs the mercy of the Lord. And I just want to encourage you that you can do that. And just, again, to pray that prayer, asking God to show you what you can't see, to show you your sin, and then to reconcile with your kids, validate their pain. I don't think we have a greater challenge in our society, this is my opinion, I don't think there's a greater challenge in our society than getting fathers to that place where they can lead from the heart. Getting dads to stay home, getting dads to quit hurting, to quit being hard. You know, guys, I came from that broken, fatherless background. Drugged my own wife and son through some of my issues. But after that happened in 1996, then what happened was I began to have a desire to help other people. And that's what I've been doing. And I started in January 1998 with just a set of young men, and I took them camping. And I've been blessed to be able to help thousands, and thousands, really tens of thousands of people through the years. And so if any of that rings true with you, I just want you to leave me a comment below, or you can even just send me a private message on Messenger if it's something that's a little sensitive of nature. But I just want to encourage you that you can go down that same road, the same road that the Lord took me down. He'll take you down, and He might even use me to help you down it. So this is Philip Fortenberry with Fatherhood Revolution, about to sign off. I just want to encourage you, when you go on your great adventures, don't forget the boy next door who has no dad. He needs you, and I used to be that kid.